What's up, shitheads? It's Ryan and Travis back with another episode of the MMA show, or Dudes Talking Fights. Is that what it's called?
Dudes Talking
Fights for March 2021. Travis?
Yeah, you know, I'm hurt, and I don't hurt easy.
Yeah.
Gavin Tucker.
Got fucking one shot.
Oh, that hurt?
Yeah.
You know, one thing I will say for it, immediately after, like, his first social media post, he immediately said, I said immediately too many times just then, he said exactly what he did wrong.
What, got hit in the face in one shot?
Well, he just went like...
What did he say?
He went head on with no head movement at Iggy.
Yeah?
And Dan Iggy was like, oh, okay. And just, it's just a different level.
Yeah.
There's levels to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He could get away with that, like against Billy Quarantillo or like or a lot of these lower ranked guys.
Yeah.
That A, aren't experienced enough to deal with him, and B, don't have the fucking power that Iggy has. But yeah, I think Gavin, after his last loss, he went on a 3-fight tear and looked incredible.
Yep.
Finished 2 out of 3 of those. Like, he looked
This will turn him around mentally, you think?
I think he's going to have, another quick snapback, and I just think we're going to see a way more improved version of him because he quite clearly does not make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
Like, it is very evident in how that man fights that he does not repeat mistakes.
There's a crazy separation between those that are in the top 10 ranking and those who are just outside.
Yeah.
Like him getting a ranked number 9 guy and getting fucking slapped.
And, you know, I know MMA math doesn't quite make sense all the time.
It doesn't.
But, like, you look, Iggy just went to fucking war with Calvin Kattar.
Yeah.
And Kattar beat him by decision. And then Max Holloway makes Calvin Kattar look like a fucking rookie.
Right.
And that really goes to show you that, yes, there's different level once you hit the top 10, but then it's a whole different, it's different humans in the top 3.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like the
skill gap separation between like maybe 3 or 4 versus like, let's call it 5 to 10 and then 10 to 15. Like those are 3 extremely different classes of athlete.
Yeah. Oh man. Like the top 5 right now at featherweight, Chan Sung Young, Brian Ortega, Calvin Kattar, Max Holloway, and Alexander Volkanovski. Like, it's just murderers fucking row. Like, any one of those could be a champ, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. I'd buy that entirely. They're fucking all great. But yeah, that one hurt, but we did get a big fucking win that night. And this proposes the question to you. Anytime you put Angela Hill in front of an unranked, kind of not a name opponent, she doesn't just beat them. Like, she
picks them apart the whole time.
Just gives them a whooping.
Just toys them.
And Yoder looked like she was a fucking weight class bigger.
Yeah, she did look a lot larger, you're right.
And then Angie was just like, nah, I got this. And just picked her apart.
And her pictures on Instagram the day after, it literally didn't look like she was touched.
No. Angela Hill is... I think maybe she just needs someone with her. Maybe she just doesn't have the exact right person in her corner right now.
I think she has a bad training partners.
No, her training partners she trains with Juliana Pena.
Yeah, but she needs someone on her skill level or above.
Size.
Right, she needs a daily challenge.
Pena is like arguably fighting Amanda next.
Yeah, are they the same weight class though?
No, that's the thing though. Juliana is
right. So she needs someone that's on her.
Yeah.
In her same league, you know.
Yeah, I agree, and I think maybe she needs someone in her corner. Like, I feel in the Claudia Gadelha fight and the Michelle Watterson fight, like she won the Watterson fight. I don't fucking care what the judge.
No, she definitely did.
The Claudia Gadelha one's arguable. But she did not have the same movement against Watterson that she did Yoder this past weekend. Like, the way she moved against Yoder, she moved like a champ. Like, she stuck and moved, then she pressed her against the fence and controlled her there. And, like, it felt like Angela's head was at Yoder's tits.
Yeah.
And she still felt to be the stronger, lengthier, rangier fighter in and out. It, like... She just was better everywhere. And against Michelle Watterson, she had a lot of those moments where she was just better, but she didn't do it dominantly enough like she did that Yoder fight. Yeah, what do you think the future is for Angela? Because she's in a weird spot.
I think she's in a really tough pickle, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if she's good enough to keep, like, there's not a lot of people that are ahead of her that I see her really beating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for certain.
With this level of current level of experience and all that, like, she doesn't, I feel like this, I don't know, maybe she's chilled out, but she just doesn't have that get up and go. Like, she's just, it almost like in that Ashley Yoder fight, she almost had more fun picking her apart and just doing what it took to win instead of fucking getting a finish and getting the bonus and getting that like next big fight instead of like someone just a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, because a lot of times in that fight, I felt there was moments where if Angela really had pressed it, like if she went in hard,
right?
I felt she could have clued Yoder up on a TKO. Like I think she could have.
I 100% believe. I believe that 100%.
Yeah, there's something. I feel like there's just something a little bit there's something untapped.
Yeah.
Like she's not working with the right person to bring out the fact that she has all the right shit to be a champ and to be a successful champ and to be a marketable champ. Like all the pieces are there. Like she just doesn't have the right person next to her helping her glue.
What do you think that motivating factor could possibly be? Do you think it'd be a financial one? Because I'm sure she's not pulling in huge bucks right now.
Well, and now I think, unfortunately, she could even be less motivated by fighting money because now she's getting regular UFC broadcast gigs.
Yes.
She's getting regular good Instagram sponsorship money.
Yeah.
Like there's just a lot of positives going for her financially. Oh, she now has a really successful podcast with Karen Bryant.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. That's cool.
It's so fucking good. And it's a very weird format. They only do it on Instagram, on an Instagram video.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like, they're usually only like 30 or 40 minutes. And they're fucking great. I hope they expand into other media because that's a little bit of like, you can't just have it on in the background.
Oh, no, that's super annoying. Yeah, that Instagram sucks.
Yeah, but I love Angie and Karen. Like, they're fucking great. And very good commentators, good analysts. Like,
hold on a second. Is Karen Bryant also Hillary Banks' real name?
Really?
I think so. Hillary Banks. I think that was her name. Oh, it was Karen Parsons.
Oh. Yeah. So that, Angie, I don't know. I think you're right. She does belong in a higher end camp.
Yeah, I think she definitely belongs. Where's she at? San Diego or something?
Oh, fuck no. She is in a great camp. She's at Alliance MMA. She's in with Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, but he's not sparring with her. You know what I mean?
Right.
She needs a sparring partner.
But it's so hard, I guess, at the top levels of 115 pounds. Like, arguably, there's 15-pound female fighters who are just different gravy. Like, they're different than and she's one of those top 20.
Yeah.
But, like, how do you spar with those people when it's such a small pool that you're very realistically going to have to fight them?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think one of the strongest training camps right now, honestly, is the fact that Valentina and her sister train with each other. Because they're both 125ers, but they're just never going to fight each other. And they're both fucking unreal. They're both great athletes.
Do you think it would ever come down to them fighting each other?
I don't think so.
Because, like, there's a lot of people that fight just for the love of the sport and the competitiveness.
Yeah.
And there's no, like, actual ill will, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that they'd ever cross paths? Because that would be a fucking very marketable fight, I think.
Sisters, yeah. It'd be pretty fucked up fighting for
That'd be wild. Like, there was a Super Bowl, like, 6 years ago or something like that. That, it was like 2014, I want to say, actually. That the two head coaches for each team were legitimate brothers.
Yeah, but that's so...
And that sold that Super Bowl.
For sure, but that's very different.
Yeah, I know. It's still the same sort of thing. Like, that will sell it.
Right.
With the proper build-up. I think that'll pull a lot of eyes.
Going out, the two brothers weren't punching each other in the face and trying to, like, hurt each other.
No, but they were going for one of the biggest prizes in all of sports,
For
really.
sure, but there's a vast difference in what Valentina Shevchenko does to a human being than what these two coaches, essentially, if you want to take the human element, they were playing chess against each other.
Right. So like with Valentina, with both Shevchenko girls, they're not known outside of the sport. Fans of the sport know them. Not a whole hell of a lot of people outside the fan base know them.
But that would be very marketable.
But they would turn a lot of casuals into bigger fans because I think it would be such a marketable event, especially if they were the headliners for a belt, which neither of them have. So it makes it a very tough thing to do. But
dude, I never noticed on the bottom of these socks.
Let's get baked.
Oh, that's so funny. I never saw that before.
You're fucked, man.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? You know those people that only buy like let's say there's 12 or 13 or something pay-per-views a year.
Yeah.
And you get the people that they're fans, they'll watch pretty much every free one that's on the free channels or whatever, but they'll only actually pay for a pay-per-view or go out to a bar to watch the pay-per-view like 5 or 6 times a year. Like they won't spend money. They like the sport, but they'll never spend money.
Right. I feel like a Jones level fight.
Right. I feel like with a good build-up of sister versus sister, that could be a really good a pay-per-view numbers. I think it would do very good pay-per-view, especially if it had a card to support it. They couldn't be the only show, you know?
Do you know what else I think is more marketable in the women's division right now? It's fucking time. It is time to run back Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah.
Like, Valentina has fucking destroyed everybody at 125. Amanda has destroyed everybody at the hilariously fake 145-pound division.
Yep.
And she's ran through almost everybody at 135. So, like, what's left?
I want to see Cyborg again. Honestly.
It's never going to happen.
No.
It's done. Yeah, I think that's the last big marketable women's fight. And 115 pounds really needs to get going again because I feel like I haven't seen any of the big 115-pound female stars in Weili Zhang, Joanna Jacek, Rose Namajunas. Like, try and tell me the last time you remember them fighting.
We saw a Weili Zhang fight not long ago, didn't we? A couple months?
No.
No?
No.
How long has it been? No, you know what? I think it maybe has been a little while. When was the last one period? I feel like it might have been sometime during I don't know, this past fall or late summer. Whoa, the fuck? That's pushing a year now, I guess.
Weili Zhang.
Yeah.
When she last fought, we didn't know what was going on with coronavirus.
So it was like early March or something?
March 7th.
Wow.
Is the last time she fought. That is also...
What city is she from?
She is from... I'll look down a second. That's also the last time Joanna fought. Because remember, they had that fucking crazy-ass fight.
Yes, I do remember.
She is from Handan.
Huh.
In Hebei province.
Oh, yes. I know the area.
Fighting out of Beijing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And...
I didn't actually know the area, of course. Never heard of it.
Of course. So yeah, women's divisions need to get moving a little bit better. I feel like the only women's champion who's interesting and consistently fighting is Valentina. Keeping on the topic of fights and recent things, Izzy took a bad loss to Jan Blachowicz.
Yep.
At any point did I ever feel that Jan was threatened by Izzy. Not once.
I don't think so. It's funny but leading up to that fight, I actually said I don't think Izzy has a chance in hell. And then I switched my gears once I saw them doing a couple press conferences and I saw just how big Izzy actually was compared to him. I'm like, no shit. I thought he was significantly smaller. I thought it would be noticeably smaller.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of changed my tune and realized, okay, well, Izzy's got the tools and the size. I'm like, no shit, I didn't expect that. So,
and then he weighed in.
And then part of me kind of wishes I just stuck with my original gut and said, because I didn't think he had a chance until we're talking 3 or 4 days before the fight is when I kind of changed my tune.
And it's kind of my fault.
Sort of.
Because I was dick riding hard.
Yeah. And then just to think that Izzy is trying to call out John Jones, at heavyweight.
No, sir.
Get the fuck, even at a light heavyweight.
So I think I think there is a future for Izzy at light heavyweight because let's be real, he went into light heavyweight. He did get outclassed, but he went into the very highest level.
Yes.
And with no size.
Right.
That was a middleweight versus a light heavyweight. Like he weighed in at 200 pounds with a fucking pizza. Like, get out of here. So Izzy obviously is going to go back to 85. I think the only marketable fight right now for Izzy, that would be a big fight, is if Darren Till beats Martin Vettori, and then they do Till and Izzy, because that's a fun fight.
That'd be fun, but some stars and time have to align for that, because Izzy's got to fight it. Before Izzy's next fight could be Till, he has to have another one. Otherwise, he'll be inactive for 8 months. I mean, unless Till wins decisively without any injuries himself or whatever, Yeah.
I think, Darren Till and Izzy is the most marketable 185 championship fight right now. Darren Till, super fun, meme lord, fucking hilarious human being. And that'd be great. And truthfully, in that, I think Izzy still gets it done. But
yeah, I definitely do too.
I would love to fucking see Darren Till as champion because the level of shit talk it'd be Chael Sonnen level.
It'd be fun.
It'd be so fucking hilarious. Like the amount of bullshit that man spews on a regular basis. And his whole thing with Yoel Romero is priceless. Like the one time he was drunk and called out Yoel, and then the next morning he was like, I am so sorry.
Was that on New Year's or something?
Yeah, he was like, I do not want to fight Yoel. Yoel signs with Bellator, and then he signs with Bellator, and within 10 minutes of the news being released, fucking Darren Till's like, yeah, I'm calling out Yoel. It's just like a complete shithead.
Fuckface.
He's hilarious.
I like Darren Till.
He's great. He
got to learn to tuck his chin a bit, but he's a good guy.
Very marketable star.
Yeah.
And he looked great against Whitaker, and Whitaker's no joke either, man. Whitaker's a beast. And then, so now we got Jones at heavyweight. Coming up this weekend, we have Miocic versus Francis Ngannou. Or
as you like to call it, Overeem.
I know. I can't believe I did that. That was very rude of me.
Yeah, it was.
Who do you have, Francis or Miocic?
I said it before. We kind of touched on it when that fight was first announced with a date.
Yeah.
And I would have said Stipe.
Yeah.
I would have said Stipe, not Stead Stipe. Anyway.
Stead Stipe.
Yeah, I would have said the white guy. But now, honestly, after that Ngannou appearance on the Rogan podcast, I got to kind of learn him more than just his octagon and his pre-fight interviews and shit like him. I get to learn him and his journey, even though it was a story that I feel like he could have told in 25 minutes and it took 3 hours.
Yeah.
It turned my mentality around on him completely to the point where he wasn't just some crazy fucking lunatic with not a lot between the ears. Now I actually see he's a person with some actual intelligence.
Yeah.
And a wild fucking journey and determination. You got it. Now I get that sort of no quit,
Yeah. Yeah, he will not give up.
Now I know why. I don't think he'll... Exactly. Has he ever had a decision?
Yeah. So, right because he got submitted, right, by Miocic.
Yeah.
In the first one. And then he fought that horrible Derek Lewis fight.
Yes.
And it was a terrible fight. Both men were terrified. Not terrified of each other.
That's probably true.
Yes, I think they very much...
There was too much riding on their next fight for either of them to actually take some balls and go in.
I think there was a lot of respect between the two of them, too much, that they were both afraid to end up in a compromised position because either of those men can just drop a fucking bomb out of nowhere in any round. It doesn't matter. They
from any direction.
Have power. Oh, so scary.
And Derek can just throw a leg, too, for a big dude like that.
Oh, I know. He can throw high kicks.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes no sense.
I can't get my leg up high enough to tie my shoe on a chair half the time. And this guy's throwing leg kicks?
Dude, every time I see Derek
leg
Lewis
kicks, head
fight,
kicks?
I'm just like, you anatomically make no fucking sense.
Yeah.
And the one that really fucks me up is when he is gassed. He can be, it looks like he at any point is going to pull a Dada 5000 and die in the fucking cage. And then all of a sudden he just knocks somebody out. and then he does a fucking hilarious interview to follow it. Like, he talks like a fucking comedian.
What did he say last time that was so funny? It was in like the post-fight press conference. He was like, they asked him who he wants. He's like, no, man, I don't want no title fights. You guys keep making me do these 5 rounds. I just want 3-round fights.
Yes, man. He was like, fuck a title.
Yeah.
It's like, 3 rounds, no 5 rounds. Fuck that.
Which is funny because we said it in the last episode, actually, for February edition, that that was his last fight on his contract. So he's currently a free agent.
Oh, the UFC is signing.
Right.
Facts.
So we both kind of thought he was going to be retiring. And immediately after the last fight, which there was an in-ring interview or whatever, if I remember right, he started taking his gloves off immediately.
And we thought he was calling it
before
a career.
the ref even raised a hand. We thought he was calling it a career right there, but it turned out he was just taking his gloves off. And then he mentioned nothing of even considering a retirement in like the post-fight stuff afterwards. So
I think he's just interested in being a co-headliner, helping sell big cards, right? Because if you put Derek Lewis on there with another name heavyweight as a co-main event, you can sell a fucking bantamweight title fight.
Right.
You can sell a flyweight title fight. You can sell a women's title fight.
Yep.
Because if you have Derek Lewis, now you're bringing the show.
And I also think he's a smart enough person to know that because there's different types of heavyweights. There's the big freaky ones like Stipe,
Francis.
the way Junior Dos Santos was, Alistair Overeem, the way Brock Lesnar was, and then Ngannou. You know what I mean? Like there's those big like muscular fucking athletic gorilla men.
Yeah.
But then there's like the big country Roy Nelson, the Derek Lewis, the Mark Hunt. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's like those bigger guys that are just
bombs on
big.
you.
Exactly. They have little to no chance being a champion other than maybe a transitional champion. They get that one lucky knockout, and all of a sudden they're fucking
like if Derek
done
Lewis
again.
had a caught DC.
Right.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have defended it. I think he would have lost it first chance.
Yeah.
Probably even if DC got a rematch. DC would have just been like, oh, okay, so next time I'm just going to take you down then, and we're not going to throw bombs. I'm not going to give you a chance.
And that's how DC beat him.
Right.
DC was just like, you're staying on the ground.
That's the thing. Those big guys, like, even though they have some ground game, they don't really got ground game compared to. So that's why they're like the heavyweight division. I've always said there should almost be 2. There should be like the heavyweights and then the super heavyweights, because that's when you get those fatter guys that are like strong as fuck, but they're just like they don't have the level of athleticity.
Athleticism.
Yes, they don't have that as much. So that's why I've said like.
But can you imagine?
They never really have a fair shot.
Can you imagine a super heavyweight and then a 290-pound Francis?
Is that how much he is? 290.
No, he only weighs in at like 260 recently, but he used to have to cut to 265.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. So there'd be very few people, very few that would be over that like 265 or whatever.
Because Derek's only 250 something.
Yeah.
Oh no, Derek is 265 actually. He does cut for weight.
Yeah. So there's very few of them that actually
I want
do.
a heavyweight division with no weight limits, no regulation on steroid use. Just let these motherfuckers go. If we could have had a horse meat Alistair Overeem, we would have had a decade-long champion.
Yes.
Horse meat Alistair Overeem is fucked up. Like, when he just walked across the cage, kicked Brock Lesnar in the guts, it's just like, you fall down now. Like, this is over.
Man, I wonder if there'd ever be a possibility of having like a sanctioned to unsanctioned match.
Oh God!
So like in
Bellator, you mean?
Well, sort of. So like, for example, in like pro wrestling, which is obviously like everyone knows the outcome. It's predetermined. They do unsanctioned matches here and there when when they want to get a little spicy. So it doesn't go on any records. And what they do is they just like, okay, everything's normal. There's normal, like you do your normal moves, but then there's just like no disqualification. Anything goes. It doesn't go on any record. And it's like, you can do fucking wild shit. Like that's when you're allowed to get a little more vulgar and stuff. Like, what if like professional, like actual fighting somehow had like an unsanctioned, but within like some degree of rules? Like you still can't fucking kick when a guy's down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kick him in the head.
But you could head stomp him, like in Pride, like Pride rules.
Yeah, something like that. I wonder if that would ever be able to be like a thing again.
I don't think so. I think
No?
we've moved past that point. And actually, Johnny, that leads me perfectly into my next piece.
Phew, it's like I planned that.
So on sanctioning, Forrest Griffin has recently announced, I think I sent it to you, he is now a chairman with the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation to help with athlete development and increasing the amateur scene. So basically the overall goal of this federation is to have mixed martial arts included in the Olympics. And to build the amateur scene to further develop young fighters. So, like wrestling has a great amateur scene.
Yep.
Boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, like all jiu-jitsu, like all these different combat sports have this really rich history in amateur competition. And that's where you get these gold medalists and NCAA Division Ones and Olympic level boxers. That's where they all come from, are these amateur leagues. Do you think we are Forrest Griffin has become arguably more, it's hard to say he's more important to MMA behind the scenes because truthfully, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation if it wasn't for Forrest Griffin.
Yeah, that's very
Forrest
true.
Griffin and Stephen Bonner, takes two.
Yeah.
But now with the UFC, he's the vice president of athlete development for the UFC PI. Do you see Forrest Griffin as he's growing in these coming years moving into a larger overall role with the UFC? Like, I mean, athlete development is pretty huge because that ties in with what he's doing now.
Yep.
With the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, IMMAF. He's helping find talent, helping groom talent, helping them get ready for Dana White's Contender Series, helping them for the Ultimate Fighter, building them up through the UFC feeder leagues, which are still pro, which is kind of fucked up because you probably shouldn't be learning in a pro environment. But anyways, I guess that's a part of the issue they're trying to solve. But do you see him ever going to the point of like Mark Ratner, Sean Shelby? Does Dana White retire at some point and Forrest steps into his role?
Definitely not Dana's role. Maybe into like the matchmaking role. He could have a say in that.
Or like Mark Ratner is the VP of regulations.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Forrest
Yeah,
in
definitely.
that role.
Definitely. I don't think he'll ever be able to be like take over. No one can take over Dana's role.
No.
You said it before.
Like Forrest, or maybe not take over Dana's role, but in some kind of role where he's not as much of a face for the company as Dana, but takes on some of Dana's responsibilities. Because let's be real, like Dana's probably, if not a billionaire, he's very close. He's getting to an age where he might not want to necessarily, this is a perfect wording. He wants to maybe slow down.
Well, you already see him just in the past.
It's less.
maybe 3 years at the most.
Yeah.
He's suddenly not at the small shows.
Yeah.
Like I remember a point where he was always at every fight.
Now it might only be Sean Shelby there.
Exactly. He wasn't when me and you went to a fight in Moncton there a few years ago. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was around that period where you started noticing him just not as
He doesn't
present.
come up to Halifax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not at a lot of the free fights. Period. He lives in the town that they're in. Like he lives down the fucking road.
Now he's been at all the Apex ones and all the Fight Island.
Really?
Since
I saw him at the Fight Island ones, but I didn't see him at all the Apex ones.
he was there last week.
Oh, I saw him last
Or
week.
for that one. Yeah, no, he's been at all the Apex ones.
Oh shit.
Because I think he lives very close to the Apex.
Yeah.
But he only shows up, I think, for the main card.
Yeah. Okay, that might be. If he got hit by a bus tomorrow and died, I think that the sport of MMA probably stands still for a long time.
Yeah.
I think that straight up you would need a ex-fighter to bring it up. I don't think that there's a suit or a face of any like fucking Bellator's guy, whatever his name is, Coker or something like that.
It's such a
not a chance. You know who would have a better chance at growing the sport to the next level than fucking anyone? Vince McMahon.
Wow. Do you know what? Very interesting that you just said that.
He's the king at promotion.
Because not my response, but I had a similar person in mind. I was going to say
Tony Khan?
No. The fucking king of pro wrestling. Dwayne Johnson.
Maybe. I don't know if that would be the right mix because he's too much of.
Too PG.
Yes, he is very
Yeah.
much too PG, and
I just feel like anything he touches is gold. Oh, actually, maybe an actor, Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know if anyone would take that one sort of seriously though. That's the thing.
I would take Wahlberg seriously in that role. Do you know he buys up dealerships now?
Yes, I did know that.
That's very fucking. He's becoming like a real businessman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's tired of making the same cop movie with his three brothers. Like,
there is no replacing Dana White.
that's without question. But I think he has such a pivotal role and face in the sport as a whole that straight up, if he got hit by a bus and died, then I think the sport just doesn't grow for a while.
Because I think even like Vince McMahon, I understand where you're
He's
coming
73
from.
years old or something. He's gonna die himself soon.
There's that, but he doesn't understand. He wouldn't understand the purity of the sport.
No, so he would have to be one of those people that he ends up being a face, but he's not the fucking guy dancing the marionette.
Right.
Like he's not.
Like that would still be your Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard.
Exactly. He's the face, the guy on the mic,
Yeah.
but he's not the one making any decisions behind the scenes like Dana does.
Right.
So I think he'd be able to make it grow because he has great ideas and an unbelievable entertainment company to produce and push things, and he's known as the greatest promoter of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
another person I feel that would do very well in a high-level position with the UFC, actually two just came to mind.
Maybe Joe Rogan straight up.
I don't think Joe would do it.
No, of course he wouldn't.
He wouldn't care. Well, not that he would care. I could see him stepping in to help the transition. He would not want the sport to go backwards.
Right, of course.
But people I could see actually going to the top of it and being very influential and could keep the ball moving.
Honestly, DC. I don't even like that guy.
Yeah, DC, Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
Karen Bryant.
Karen Bryant, huh?
She is one of the most knowledgeable people out there. I would say her and Megan O'Leary are the two biggest female faces of the UFC. But yeah, and I feel like Karen Bryant is ferocious enough. Like she's enough of an adept businesswoman to be able to fucking keep shit going as well. This went way different than I expected. Yeah. But yeah, Forrest Griffin, I think at some point in time is going to be a much larger role in the UFC and a much bigger face of the UFC. And actually, just out of curiosity, both Prime, do you take Forrest Griffin or John Jones?
John Jones.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And so now, Izzy versus John's never going to happen. Stipe versus Ngannou. I think we're both feeling Ngannou. And then I think Jones not only slaughters Francis, but then rules heavyweight.
You think he slaughters
for another decade?
Shit, I know we spoke about it before, and I still picked Jones to win that fight, but I definitely don't think that's a slaughter.
I think what's going to happen, I'm going to piece this out entirely. Francis is going to catch Jones in the first, wobble him. Maybe there's going to be like a little bit of a moment where you think Francis is about to get it done. Jones will make it out of the first. And then he'll come out in the second. Francis will have unloaded. And Francis will have no answers. Because Jones will pick him apart. He's going to be faster, smarter, higher fight IQ. Take his legs out from underneath him. We might actually even see John wrestle. Yeah. And John's just such a complete package.
How do you think the build-up to that fight goes? Do you think it's a cerebral warfare? Do you think it's mutual respect and we'll just leave it in the cage? Do you think it's a little bit of shit talk?
I think John talks mad shit.
You think he does
I think he talks mad shit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think he's going to do exactly what Izzy was doing. They're too slow. Like, they're not smart enough. The IQ's not there. They can't do what I can do. Like, they haven't fought the caliber of fighters I've fought. And that's like another thing that's really interesting so today or yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of John Jones winning the light heavyweight title and becoming the youngest UFC champion in history at 23. Like, what were you doing at 23 years old?
Winning the light heavyweight championship.
Oh, yeah.
Just in a different league.
Yeah.
The burger eating league.
John is, I remember so distinctly the night he beat Shogun.
Yeah.
And I was so mad.
Really?
I was so fucking
I was
angry.
excited. I liked Shogun, and I still do, in fact. But I was so pumped for Jones. Just like they also did a very good promotionary job because like Jones, to some extent, didn't really earn his title shot. Like he was one fight away, but Rashad went out with that injury, so they gave it to Jones. Remember?
Right.
So like he was still in the conversation, but he didn't earn a title shot. So they gave it to him.
He was coming off a KO of an unbeaten Ryan Bader, though.
Yes.
Which was, now that we know the history, like what Ryan Bader would go on to do. Ryan Bader never got a UFC title because John Jones existed.
Yep.
That is the only fucking reason why.
That's right. So like when I say that he got the title shot undeservingly,
Yeah.
he clearly proved that he did deserve it, but it just maybe not when that contract was signed. I don't think he had earned it yet,
Yeah.
and they like just needed something so the show must go on sort of situation.
Yeah.
And he stepped up, took the ball, and fucking ran with it, and never looked back.
Do you remember what he did earlier that day?
Yeah, he stopped a mugging.
And then he chased the fucking guy down.
Yeah.
And held him down till the cops got there.
Unbelievable.
Like a psycho.
Well, after doing something like that, how do you not win that night?
Oh, you're fucking
You've got the biggest of
legend.
dick energy, you know?
And kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about today. So it was announced that Charles Oliveira, who another fighter I think we both adore, that's a veteran, is on a huge win streak. He's been around the UFC for fucking ever. And then all of a sudden, about 8 fights ago, everything just came together.
Yep.
And now he's complete. He's a fucking beast. Terrifying human being all of a sudden. So somehow we ended up with him and Michael Chandler for the lightweight title. So Gaethje came out.
I saw that. Gaethje was apparently
passed over.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the conversation was, okay, it's gonna be you two. He literally, I think, started training
For Chandler.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it was like he sees the news and he's like, what?
So the bullshit in that, in my humble opinion, Gaethje being looked up, Gaethje not getting the title shot is fucking stupid.
Yep.
One of the most marketable UFC fighters currently in existence. I think Gaethje's on a similar level of marketability to like Darren Till.
Mm-hmm.
The hardcores love him, and if you put him in front of a big enough audience, if you put him on the right card and get him on the mic,
Let him talk.
let him be a star. He can do it. Like, so Chandler should not be a part of this equation. It should be Oliveira and Gaethje
Yep.
for a wild ass fucking fight that I truly believe Charles Oliveira wins that fight.
Yeah.
Oliveira, sorry, saying it wrong. I think that's his fight to win. The Bronx is going to be the champ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if it matters if it's Chandler. I don't think it matters if it's Gaethje. I don't think it matters if it's Conor. I think the only person who would have stopped him was Khabib.
Yep.
I think he is just he's in his Tony Ferguson moment where he had a history in the company, a few losses, like things weren't always going his way. He wasn't super impressive. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, he's different. He is fucking different. His body looks different. He looks like his aggression is different. Like everything. He is a fucking different human.
Big time.
And I just don't see anybody. I don't understand who beats him. Like the way I feel about him is the way I felt about Tony before the Gaethje fight.
Okay.
That he was just like, it doesn't fucking matter what you do, who you put in there, whether it has to be on the feet, on the ground. He doesn't fucking care. Like, he'll figure it out. And the only thing I think Chandler, Gaethje, and Conor could maybe do to him is knock him out.
Yep.
But I don't see him giving them the opportunity.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm really high on him right now, in case you can't tell.
Yes, it's obvious.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we lost Riddle and Gregor Gillespie on an hour's notice for tonight, which is fucking lame. That was, truthfully, that co-main event was holding the card together because it's not a great card.
Right.
It's all unknowns except for Brunson and Holland, which is still a good fight, but that's
So
too
we're
bad.
not going to talk about knees to the head. We're not going to talk about finger pokes.
Oh my gentle Jesus! Yes. Oh, I don't know why I thought we talked
That
about
is the MMA news for this month.
That is. So apparently.
And Khabib officially retiring. Like,
What is
we're just
wrong
we're
with
just
me?
gonna skate over all of that.
Why were my notes so bad this week?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know.
So first of all, how the fuck do you win a belt on a DQ?
That is stupid.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And then what's even worse is because we were I definitely was. I don't know if you were as bad as me, but I'm pretty sure you were on the train too. Like, we were dick riding Alja pretty fucking hard.
Yep.
Like, we were game.
So the hand that was raised was the result we both wanted. But the events leading up to the hand being raised, I did not want and I'm not a supporter of.
First of all, Jan was whooping him.
Yeah.
Like, Jan was winning that fight.
Yep.
And I understand that the knee to the head was a no contest. Yes.
Yep.
Aljamain Sterling was fucked up. He should not have been fighting after that knee to the head. The fact that it took them so long to make that decision, and they were even giving him the opportunity to make that decision, was fucking insane.
Yep.
No one, Herb, or was it Herb?
No.
Goddard?
Something like that, yeah.
It right in that second, it should have been like, or I think it might have been Mark Smith, actually. It should have been like, no, this is fucking over. You can't eat a fucking knee to... That knee was hard.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't like a little bit. Like, that motherfucker got blasted. But Jan should not have lost the belt. And just so you know how invested I am the other way, and I'm still saying this, is because Aljamain Sterling won that fight by disqualification, it actually did very well for me on my Verdict MMA picks. So I came out quite well on that card because of that.
And that was the first ever championship won by DQ.
DQ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's your, like, are you in the same boat?
I didn't think he was whooping him, though. Wasn't it, like, kind of split? And then all of a sudden, like, let's say the knee didn't end up being all that bad of one. It was just kind of like, oh, an illegal strike. He takes away a point, and then all of a sudden now you're looking at a draw, and you're going into the 5th round, and that's the round. I think that's how it played out.
Let me see. I'm going to pull it up here.
Yes. Because I think it probably would have been,
I have the scorecard.
at that point, 3-2. No, 2-2 or something. I don't know. I think I remember Rogan and them talking about that, saying they kind of mentally had it as, like, Jan 3 up until that point to Aljamain's 1.
Oh shit! Sorry, you're right.
And then that 1 point would have that point taken away
Sterling
would have
was up
changed it.
2-1.
Right, so it would have been 2-2 after this, right?
No, sorry. The scorecards were actually 2-1 for Jan.
They were 2-2. That was through 3 rounds, but this happened in the 4th round.
Yeah.
So and that round up until that point,
Alja was looking good.
was looking very good. So he was probably scoring enough points, and then you take away one of Jan's points. Now all of a sudden, we've got a fucking draw, essentially. You know what I mean? Going into the 5th round, that is. Like, there would have been a 5-round, like, it would have been a deciding round still.
Yeah, I agree. There was more fight to be had,
Yeah.
but still, I also don't like the way Sterling's handling it.
He handled it like he fucking earned something.
Which was bullshit.
You lost me I'm off the train a little bit from the way you went about it afterwards.
Because when he beat Corey Sandhagen, me and you lost our fucking collective minds.
Yeah.
We were like, this human is unreal.
Yeah.
Like, how Peter Yan's not going to do shit. And yeah, it was much more competitive than I expected. But yeah, I don't know. It was nasty.
The thing is, I also, like, no contest, but I don't think the title should have won. I don't know if it should have been, because the reason they said it was a no contest, or it was a DQ instead of a no contest, was because the knee was intentional and not incidental.
Right.
I don't know how intentional it was. Like, I get it. The corner said hit him, but I didn't see them say hit him with your knee. Like, even when they had to Khabib translate it because he was sitting there ringside.
Right.
They never said hit it with a knee. Like, you had so many other tools you were legally allowed to use. Bingo. I think that's all it was.
He could have landed.
He definitely should have known, don't knee, but they were kind of on their way back up, and he might have just threw that knee a little early.
Millisecond early.
Exact millisecond. We're talking millisecond. Exactly. And then all of a sudden, it would have been a perfectly legal knee and been a fucking devastating legal knee.
There was also a time where Alja was getting up, and I'm pretty sure it was Mark Smith, says to Peter Yan, don't knee him.
But if it's not, I fully agree with the ref calls it out, but we are working with an international sport.
Dude, look at you in that champion sweater. God damn.
We're working with an international sport against a competitor whose native language, especially when you're in the zone, is not English.
Right.
So at the same time, like, I can see both sides clearly enough that it should have just been called a no contest in my personal eyes and run it back as soon as Aljamain would have been cleared. So, a while from now, 6 months before they would have been able to get back in the cage. But I think that's how it should have played out personally.
Yeah, the way Sterling's still talking shit is fucking maddening.
Oh, yeah. It's almost at the point where if they do run it back, I want it to be a clean fight, and I almost want Yan to fucking win.
I want Yan to smoke him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't even like Peter Yan.
Yeah, me neither. But I almost think that's the way it should go, just to be like, bro, I was fucking beating you. I fucked up. Get over it.
Yeah. And then following weekend, we had
Bilal Muhammad
and
the other guy,
Leon Edwards.
Finger poke from hell.
And that was a no contest.
Yeah. Because that one clearly wasn't on purpose.
And they said
although it's funny, he was warned already.
They said it's because it was in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think Leon Edwards was just going to piece him up and beat the shit out of him anyways.
The way it was going, yes.
Yeah. But we're in this weird thing now where Bilal Muhammad is saying he wants to run it back. But it's like, and Edwards is like, no. Like, I don't want to run it back. I took him as a last-minute replacement.
Right. That is true.
Yes, because he was originally supposed to fight.
He had like 3 fights fall out on him.
Yes. Oh, my God. Who was that originally supposed to be? Leon Edwards. Was it Gilbert Burns?
Something like that.
I got to look this up really quick. Because Leon Edwards hadn't fought since 2019, and not by choice. It was just Corona. Fights kept falling apart. Just fucking bullshit. And Khamzat.
Right.
Shemev is who he was supposed to fight. And Khamzat had a lot to give Leon Edwards. Like, if he beat Khamzat, it was going to look good for Edwards. Khamzat's really fucking hot right now. Everybody loves him. He's super exciting. Bouncing up and down between 2 weight classes. Fucking lunatic. Kind of like Kevin Holland. Very similar person. In the fact that they just keep like 170, 185, 170, 180. Like, they don't give a fuck. They're just fighting everywhere.
Yep.
And even though Khamzat was, I think, even lower ranked than Bilal, he had more to offer Edwards in name recognition.
Yes.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I get why Edwards doesn't want to fight Muhammad. I totally fucking get it. He wants a Wonder Boy, a Tyron Woodley, a Gilbert Burns, or Jorge Masvidal. Like, someone at 170 who is going to give him enough name recognition that his next fight can be Kamaru.
Yeah. All right. I can buy into that.
Yeah.
But that's fucked up. 2 main events, 2 weeks in a row. You'll
Garbage.
Yeah, well, I guess one of them wasn't really a main event, but you know what I'm saying.
It like, kind of was. Well, yeah. And Khabib is, UFC have recognized it. Khabib has said it. It is truly, we're done. We're done here.
See ya.
29-0. How hard do you think it is to leave on 29-0 when realistically in his head, and we all know, he could be 35-0?
Probably.
Like, very unlikely anyone beats him.
Yeah.
Like,
see Connor's little jab at him after.
I know.
Oh, if you don't like the weight cut, then move up a weight class like the big boys.
Like, Connor, you're such a fucking knob. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth. Like, I don't know. Good for Khabib.
Yep.
He came in. He's going to go out as one of the best to ever do it. He's a fucking legend. Goddamn beauty. Good for him. Thank you.
Fuck you, Khabib. I'll call him out. I'll fight him.
Oh God.
Well, you don't think I could?
You could fight him for sure.
Well, that's all the question was.
Yeah, you ain't winning.
Well, someone's got to come in second.
That's it, man. That's the best part about a fucking MMA fight. At least you only came in second.
Yeah. Like, if that was my goal, is to lose, then I could be really good at it.
Yeah, for sure. And imagine if you told anybody else that you came in second or something. Be like, oh, how'd your fight go? I came in second.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, how many people were there? Oh, it was just me and the other guy. I'd get it. The thing is, honest to goodness, man, all jokes aside, I'd get a few good strikes in on him. Like, I'd fucking hurt him. I wouldn't. Yes, I would. No, when I say hurt, I don't mean to the point where he's in jeopardy of losing his belt.
Oh, yeah,
I'm saying, because I don't care who the fuck you are. When a guy punches you in the face, it hurts every time.
Right.
And I will 100% be able to hurt him.
You're going down.
Oh yeah, that's a really cool thing to be able to say.
Yeah.
Is I'd be able to fucking hurt him.
Yeah. As you're falling, just like throwing fucking random limbs.
Shin kicks, fucking elbows, all fucking pull at fucking the back of his ear and shit. I will do that. I would grab the back of his ear and start trying to twist it. Give him like a fucking ear twister. That sucks. It should be a new submission.
Submission by ear twister.
Hey man, is it rule against that? Yeah,
No.
you're not allowed to do a small joint stuff.
Oh,
are
yeah,
you?
you
Like, you can't grab a finger and start bending it backwards.
Like, some people have been trying to like pull out of guillotines and rip their ear off.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that is true fight or flight right there.
Right. Ugh. Anyway, was that March?
That's it. Thank you.
Cool. You can always find us on Instagram at Dudes Talking Shit. You can find Ryan on Instagram at Drunk Ryan and Travis on Instagram at
TFan23. Send me your dick pics later, shitheads.
yeah.